just recently I was asked a question on how things have changed for me in the past year. And the first thing that came to mind was, yeah, what has changed in the last year? As I began to think about it and speak about it for a single second, I realized that I have facilitated a lot of growth in this past year. But in that, I have also realized how much farther I have to go. I have also realized just how capable I am. Not only I am, but we all are. And I've spoke about this to a degree before. The farther and farther I go into this process of self development and growth and transcending the lower parts of myself to find the higher self and the higher sense of self that I know I have inside of me and that is waiting for me and that my soul is yearning for, the more I go into that, the more I realize just how capable we all are. The more I realize how it's always just us that hold ourselves back from the things that we need in this life, from the things that we are so desiring of. I realize that it is just us that choose to put mixed signals out into the universe by which hold us back from the life that we truly want in certain ways. Now, once again, I'm still doing this in certain ways. It's a process of becoming, it's a process of uncovering those parts of ourselves that are holding ourselves back in that way. It's an ongoing journey. You'll never be perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning about those sides of yourself that you might be resistant to learning about. Now, to start with the big picture, we all live different lives. We all are born into different generations and different generational um, traditions and curses, if you will. We're all born into different situations with families. Some of us have great parents, some of us have okay parents, some of us have no parents. But at the end of the day, all that really makes a difference in our life is how much we choose to, you could say, parent ourselves. How much we choose to take accountability and lead ourselves. Because at the end of the day, you could have the greatest parents in the world, the greatest environment in the world that you grow up within, yet somehow you still turn into something negative. You still make bad decisions. You still lead yourself into the worst possible place you could be in. And on the other hand, you could have no parents, no great upbringing at all, only negativity, and transcend all of it. So at the end of the day, again, it comes down to how we take accountability and how we lead ourselves. So in this journey for me, I've told you guys before, I had a unrealized victim mindset very early on. So in this journey of becoming who I am today, I've had to face that version. I've had to face that inner voice several times. I've had to face it and learn how to fight against it and say, hey, that's not real. That's only created based off of certain emotions. To then go back and replace those emotions with the opposite, with the emotions that I'd rather be in my life more so. When it comes to victim, it's not victim emotions, it's victor. I'm a winner. I do win. I win what I choose to win. I choose to appreciate all that I go through. So I'm never truly losing, either win or learn, right? And that's accountability. That's on standing up for the life that you want to live. That's on being the one who writes the story in your life. You see, because we're all writing our own story, guys. We are all walking down the path, going down the journey, and becoming the individual that we're meant to be based on the story that we tell ourselves. What might be frightening to hear is that many times we're writing the story for us to be the bad guy. Many times we're writing the story that isn't very compelling. We're just kind of writing it because honestly we want to get done with the book. We don't see enough in our life that makes us excited to continue writing the story. Y'all ever watched a movie or read a book like that? Or you're just kind of, it's just going by really slowly. You wish it was over already. Or even on a more personal aspect, have y'all ever done something and you're like, you went really hard, you're really excited the first part, and then you got bored, and then you're just slowly grueling by the last little bits of it, and you're just wanting it to be over. Many of us treat life like that in certain ways. It's sad to see. Now, I'm not saying I'm outside of this. It's very easy to fall into this pattern once you've done it for so long. But what really the difference is that, again, that accountability for who you are, where you're at, where you're going, and gratitude for all of it. Because if you're not grateful for any of it, how far are you going to go? So that story that you're writing, about your life, what is it at the end of the day? What is the narrative? What is the narrative that you're telling yourself? Again, to take it back to what I started with, the more I go down my path, the more I achieve in my own way, the more I see that we are all capable of. The more I see that there's nothing holding us back other than ourselves and time. So with that being said, what is it that I want to achieve next? What is it that I want to go after? Once you begin to see that and understand that it is only your internal perception that determines your life, that determines what you see as possible, life gets a whole lot more exciting. A whole lot more exciting because, again, you realize you're the one writing the story. For instance, one more situation before I let you guys go here. As a kid, I think I had a guitar at some point. A play guitar wasn't nice by any means. It was an instrument that worked, but I remember I would just play with it in silly ways. I would never actually learn how to play. But since then, I've always thought guitars were very cool. There's been an inside part of myself that wanted to learn. How did this manifest? Well, you could say, let's say 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when I would see people playing guitar, not real artists, I say real artists, not big time artists, but people that weren't necessarily big yet, or whatever you want to say, I would have this judgment or resistance to it, right? And it's because part of my shadow was sad to see that I didn't think I could do it. And so them doing it made me envious in a certain way. There was a resistance there. Fast forward to the past few years, I've thought it's very cool when people can play an instrument of some kind, any kind. Fast forward to now, well, I should say a couple months ago, my wife picked up a little toy guitar for my daughter from the store, a very small one, just a literal toy guitar. But it had strings. I started playing on it. Me and my daughter would have fun with it. And I realized, hey, you know what? I'm not scared of being expressive anymore. I'm okay with playing this. And so I was like, all right, I'm not going to go buy a guitar. I'm going to let it come to me. Well, within a month or two, it came to me. Now, I'm starting to practice and enjoying it. I'm not playing for any reason other than I want to play and learn how to play. If it takes the rest of my life to sound any bit decent, that's fine. But I'm enjoying that process. I realized that I'm capable of doing that. And to bring it back to what I was saying again, it's only our minds that believe ourselves not to be capable of something, truthfully. You may have naysayers, you may have people in your family that say you're not capable, but that doesn't really make a difference. Your belief in them saying that shit is what makes the difference. Your belief in them not giving you support and you thinking that's any sort of relevant, that's what prevents you from thinking yourself capable at the end of the day. So you are more capable than you realize, my friend. But you have to release those inner beliefs. You have to work through those inner beliefs and begin to become that individual who is capable by simply showing up. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.